Yo, what's going on, everybody? So let's talk about Mexican peso this week. That's the only pair I'm interested for this week. Uh, I'm actually in a trade right now, so it's gonna be more of a trade management video. Also, we can talk about gold, which is looking more or less. So we're gonna be talking about the Mexican peso, how to manage this trade, and then we're gonna be talking about gold and potential setups and its potential setup. So let's start with the Mexican peso. This is the futures chart. So as you guys can see, well, let's start with the technicals. So what I see that's pretty nice is that obviously price is reacting off this demand zone, this weekly and daily demand zone, and then we can see that it printed one bullish engulfing, a weekly bullish engulfing, and then it printed another one. So we have two bullish engulfing. That's a pretty good sign that price should go up. So that's the technical aspect of this trade. Now let's talk about the fundamentals. So So we're coming from undervalued against gold, the US dollar, and treasury, the 30-year treasury bonds. So that's pretty nice. And then what what's more important is what retail traders are doing. So there's an update on what the retail traders are doing. So retail traders are still very bearish. We're still under this white line. So what we could expect is that price should continue to go up. And then with true seasonality, we can see that price should keep going up. All right, so maybe until August, maybe, or at the end of July, or the 17th or middle of July. Let me see. Yeah, more or less like around here, we can see like a top. Yeah, more or less like around here, we can be securing our profits around this area. So, I mean, this date. So let's see. But the thing is that fundamentals are looking still super nice. Now let's go to the Mexican peso to see the USD Mexican peso, I'm sorry, to see what's going on with this. All right. So just like the Mexican peso, the futures chart, we have two bearish engulfings reacting off this daily supply zone. Now, last week I was telling you guys that I was expecting a pullback to this base drop. It did. It gave us that pullback, and then I was expecting. I told you guys in the other video, last week's video, that well, it's easier here. So I was expecting a pullback. It was doing lower lows, then it broke structure, creating higher high, higher low, higher high, and then it created a lower low at breaking this previous higher low. So from bullish, we turned into bearish. I told you guys that I was expecting a pullback. And after a pullback, I was expecting a bearish engulfing candle. So that's exactly what it did. It gave us this beautiful head and shoulders. You guys can see this is the left shoulder, the head, and then the right shoulder. And here it gave us that beautiful bearish engulfing. That's where I entered the trade stops above the previous uh lower high, which is this one, or the previous high, I should say, and then I'm targeting these lows. All right. So that's USD Mexican peso. Last week, Friday, it was NFP. So I was expecting. So after NFP, NFP printed this super bullish uh candle, and if that candle closed above this zone, I was moving my stops to break even because it was changing. It meant that it was going to change structure from bearish, it was going to change to bullish. So that's the theory. And it was supposed to keep going up. But since price didn't close above this zone, then I left my stops where they are actually, which is around here. So same thing. If this week we have a candle that closes above this lower high, then I'll move my stops to break even and let the trade run. But if price reaches around, if it gets to this zone right here, all right, which is a huge um, support zone. We have support. I mean, let me put it in the weekly. So we have support here. Then we have support, resistance, support. So that's a very strong area. So once price reaches this area, I'm moving my stops to break even and then leaving the trade run until it hits my take profit or it stops me out at break even. But I'm pretty confident that price is gonna melt and reach this zone. So let's see. I think it's gonna do it maybe this week or maybe next week. But I for sure think that this week is gonna be super red. All right, it's gonna be super bearish. So that's pretty much it. Let me see. Let me talk a little bit about gold right now. So gold, the only thing I like about gold is that the commercials, the users and producers are extremely bearish. All right, they're extremely bearish. That's the only thing I like about this potential trade, this potential short. What I don't like is that that's the only confluence, that's the only fundamental confluence that I have, and also I don't have a weekly uh, supply zone that I can take a trade off of. So what I do have is it's a clear supply zone on the daily. So I'm just waiting for price to reach that zone to see if it gives me a beautiful head and shoulders, and then I could short that uh at least to here. I'm not sure. But first price has to get into the zone and see if it reacts to that zone and how it does it, you know? But maybe this week we wouldn't see price reaching this zone because look at this bearish engulfing candle that's printing right now. So that's why I'm not giving it too much energy. All my energy is Most of my energy will be monitoring the USD Mexican peso trade. So if you guys have any questions, just leave it in the comment or shoot me a DM. Peace, guys.